Hi, my name is Heavenly Harris, and I selected to respond to question 3, which is what was the importance of religion in early America as a cohesive social bond? I think there could be two different ways to respond to this question. If you look at individual colonies in the 17th century, you will notice that settlements were typically homogeneous. For example, Puritans, or Congregationalists as they would come to be known, often settled in the Massachusetts area, whereas most that settled in the southern colonies, such as Virginia and the Carolinas, were Anglican. So you could simply answer this question by noting the immigration patterns of various groups and the tendency to conform to regional religious preferences. However, my initial thoughts regarding this question were to look at America, or the colonies that would become America, and answer the question as a whole. In this respect, at least on the surface, it may be difficult to notice a cohesive social bond regarding religion. In fact, when I think of religion in the colonial period, I think of the multitude of denominations that were present. Mark Knoll mentions many of them in the reading for this week, including Presbyterians, Quakers, Moravians, Dutch Reformed, Catholics, and Baptists. As I contemplated whether this was a trick question, I realized that I was unintentionally substituting the word denomination for the word religion. Even though there were a plethora of denominations, they still had much in common. They were Christians who wanted to be able to freely practice their own faith. Furthermore, most of them were seeking refuge from an established church, such as the Anglican Church in England or the Catholic Church in France. This seemed to bind them. In fact, some even refer to this as the beginnings of a religious revolution. In an article about the influence on religion during the Revolutionary era in America, McLaughlin notes the importance of the consensus on the need for religious liberty and the disestablishment in order for various denominations to be able to exist together. According to McLaughlin, in the century leading up to the Revolution, these characteristics would be part of the new American value system, which he called a religious revolution. A concrete example of cohesion would be the Maryland Act of Toleration in 1649. Settlers in Maryland recognized that if minority denominations were going to be protected, they would have to emphasize their commonalities and try to coexist peacefully. That being said, they were only willing to tolerate variances of Christianity. Should any person in Maryland, and I quote from the Act, shall use or utter any reproachful speeches, words, or language concerning the said Holy Trinity, or any of said three persons thereof, shall be punished with the death and confiscation or forfeiture of all his or her lands and goods to the Lord Proprietary and his heirs. As you can see, there were clearly elements of Christianity that the colonists were able to agree upon that would bind them together. This would be extremely important at the dawning of the Revolution, when 13 independent colonies would find it necessary to unite together permanently.